Welcome to the WIHS Journal. On today's broadcast with us, we'll have child care advocate and author Florence Ann Romano. She's been featured in many national shows. She also has her own YouTube series called The Windy City Nanny. On today's broadcast, she'll be giving us some innovative tips and gift ideas for children and your loved ones that won't break the bank. Stay tuned for all the details. So I know you have some great ideas for Valentine's Day. Let's talk about that.
Well, Valentine's Day is coming, and I feel like every holiday, especially during COVID, it just kind of gets dwarfed by, everything else that's going on in the world. And I don't want people to miss out on the fun and joy and magic of all the different things that go on during these holidays. So I really wanted to come up with a way to make it interactive, even if it has to be virtual. So decided, with my background, over 15 years of being a nanny, I'm a retired nanny now, and really like working with parents on the other side of things now about making their families work with caretakers and advocating for children. I love the idea of putting the emphasis on the family during Valentine's Day. When I was growing up, I don't know if it was the same thing for you. When I was growing up, it was never about really the kids. It was just about the parents. Well, it's changed now. I think with social media and Pinterest and all these different things you're seeing out there, it's become a family affair, and I love that. I love that we're bringing our kids into it and teaching them about all the different forms of love. And so my idea here is QT Cupid, and what I basically think is that you should start it the week before Valentine's Day. And if you're familiar with Secret Santa, it's basically the same rules apply here. It's just going to be Valentine themed. Draw a name to see who their QT Cupid is from a hat or wherever you want to pull the name from. And then mom or dad or whomever in the house can go out, buy a bunch of things from the dollar store, bring it home, put it on a shelf, like make a little shop where people can go and pick things off the shelf, and they can gift their little QT Cupid their gift every day up until Valentine's Day, until the big reveal, and see who their secret Valentine is.
That is so cute. I love that. So can you give us a little bit of a background? I know you have been on some major media outlets. Can we just talk about that?
Sure. So I was a nanny, like I said, for over 15 years, worked for lots of different families. And then, as Mary Poppins says, the wind changes. You stay until the wind changes. And the wind changed in my life. After my last nanny family moved away, I decided to move to the other side of it, really being a child care advocate. And I wrote a children's book called Nanny and Me that helps children understand the transition of being cared for by their parents to being cared for by a nanny or a caretaker. And that really just kind of launched the platform for Windy City Nanny, talking about what happens in homes. Over 64% of families in America today have a nanny or a caretaker. And I thought that statistic was just outstanding, and we really need to pay attention to that statistic. It continues to grow, and so other people are helping us take care of our children, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in that. I think it's a beautiful thing, and teaching our children about love and all sorts of people who love you and take care of you is a wonderful gift, and so I really am lucky to be able to talk about the things I love and do what I love as a former nanny.
So this coming Valentine's Day, I know you said it's a virtual event. Maybe elaborate a little bit more on that.
You could make it a virtual event. You could involve your neighbors and say, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to, leave gifts on the doorstep every day up until Valentine's Day. And then on Valentine's Day, we'll all jump on Zoom and reveal, who everyone's secret Valentine is. But if that's not possible for you, or you don't want to do that, you just want to keep it in with your home, or do it with people that are in your social pod, as they call it, people that you are seeing during quarantine. And you have them over in a socially distanced way, or you're outside if the weather allows, not like in Chicago where it's like 15 degrees right now, but if you're somewhere where you can be outside with family or friends and, do that reveal, I think that's great too. It's just a matter of finding what works for you right now and who can you involve, and also making people feel special, making people feel remembered during this time of year. I think all the time we should be making people feel remembered and special, but especially during Valentine's Day when people have been so isolated and feeling so lonely.
Any suggestions for children's gifts?
Parents right now, I never want them to be mad at me, because I think every time someone suggests a craft to parents, they're like, please, Florence Ann, not another craft. All I've been doing since COVID hit is crafting in the house with the kids. So I feel like you just want to keep it simple. Kids draw you a picture, and the gift to them is seeing the look on your face when they hand it to you, that you're excited to get it, and you want to ask them about it, and that they feel like they did something to make you proud, make you feel special. It's funny when you think about gift giving. Even as an adult, I'm always happier to give a gift than get a gift. I love that feeling of giving a gift, and it's great to teach children about that. Teach children about giving and what that feeling does for them and their hearts, and what that does for other people. But in terms of really simple things, everyone loves mason jars. People put flowers in them or candy in them or whatever it is. Mason jars are so inexpensive. You can grab them anywhere. You can put stickers on them. You can put glue on them and put glitter all over them, all that glitter. And you can use that to put candy in, and that's always a fun little gift that's easy to make, simple to give. And then also, if you're just in the mood just to give candy in just like little baggies or just put them in like empty vases and decorate them, I think it's stuff you have in your house that you can use. I am not that nanny that was like, oh, we're just going to be doing all these elaborate crafting. No one has time for that right now or the energy to do it. So I'd say just simple gifts from the heart are great. If you go out and buy some stuff, that's great too. But also Etsy is a great place to go if you're going to do something maybe that's a little bit more elaborate. Etsy supports small businesses, and all those small businesses could use our help right now so much. So if you're going to do the adult version where you're going to be giving to your friends and family, I'd say Etsy is a great place.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And if you're tuning in right now, I'm speaking to Florence Ann Romano, the Windy City Nanny, as she goes by. And, I'm looking here at your biography, and I see that you've been in national shows like The Home and Family, The Doctor, The Diva, Fox News, Good Day Chicago, WGNN, Jenny McCarthy Show, Sirius XM, and so much more. So what kind of stuff did you do for them?
We talk about all sorts of things, I have to say. Whatever's going on with childcare in the world, I always like to have a finger on the pulse of it. I would say most recently it's been talking a lot about COVID and the online learning and the remote learning and how are kids handling this, how are parents handling this. And, my advice right now on all of those shows, and will continue to be, that you just are surviving. You have to do the best you can. And parents are putting so much pressure on themselves to be everything. And you can't, that's just not possible. You can't be everything to everyone at the same time. And children in school right now are struggling. I see them crying in front of those computers, not wanting to do the online learning. And I feel like no matter where you go, state to state, there's politics involved in it about why these schools aren't open or why certain schools are open. And how do you help your children through this? How do you parents help yourself through this? And you have to give yourself a little bit of grace, because you are being put up against something that is much bigger than you. You're being challenged in ways you never thought you could. And so if your multiplication tables don't get done, but your child is happy, your child is safe, you are having more family dinners, you're having more emotional conversations, you're keeping each other mentally and emotionally healthy, that to me is more important than on what 2 times 2 is.
Thank you so much on that. I'm sure a lot of moms are thanking you for that too. So in all your years of being a nanny, what would you say was your most significant gift that you received from one of your children?
Oh, gosh, you're going to make me cry. I have to say, one of my favorite moments, I've grown to see these kids grow up, and I still stay in contact with every single one that I ever nannied for. And one particular wedding that I went to a few years ago, one of my first nanny kids was at that wedding. The bride was a mutual friend of both of ours. And it was like a movie. I saw her across the dance floor, and she saw me, and she had moved away years before that, so I hadn't seen her in quite a while. And we just ran toward each other. And she hugged me so, so tight. And she pulled back, and I looked at her, and she had tears in her eyes. And I said, oh, my darling, why are you crying? Why are you crying? And she looked at me and said, I just want you to know you are still the voice in my head all these years later. You realize, man, I guess out of all the things I did wrong, I did something right. I loved this child, and she felt my love. And to me, that's always the most important thing, that they knew they were loved.
Okay. Thank you so much. Do you have a website that we can peruse any other details about you or anything?
Yes. Yes, WindyCityNanny.com, and I'm all over social media, Instagram, Facebook. You can go to Windy City Nanny. I answer every direct message that I get on Instagram. So if you have any questions or anything you want to talk about, I'm here for you.
Once again, that was child care advocate and author Florence Ann Romano. She has been featured on many national shows like Home and Family, The Doctor, Fox News, Good Day Chicago, and her YouTube series, The Windy City Nanny. Her program sheds light on child care challenges. If you would like more details about today's broadcast, call WIHS. Our phone number is 860-346-1049. The opinions expressed are those of the participants, not necessarily those of the staff and management of a station. I'm Anissa Porticelli for News and Public Affairs.